How can limited time impact the workplace? As I asked earlier, how can limited time impact the workplace? Can you think of an example of when you have been in this situation?
I think limited time really impacts the workplace in an adverse way, in a negative way. For instance, we had a short turnaround after a game, a soccer game, and we didn't have enough time to prepare for the other team, for the next team we're playing. So that caused us to lose the game. We didn't have adequate time to prepare, to scout, and it caused a lot of trouble during the game. So I feel like inadequate time adversely affects.
Did you read and adapt to the situation well? And how could you have read and adapt to it better?
For the most part, we adapted enough to the situation. We still lost the game, but I think the way we could have adapted better to the situation was to get a handle of the team a few weeks beforehand, seen them play, scouted them better, and I feel like that would have been a better way to handle it looking forward.
Can you anticipate being in that situation again in the future? When will that likely happen? And what options will you have? Will you adapt?
The great thing about soccer is it's a quick turnaround. We get to play them again in a couple of weeks. So, learning from our past experience, we get to scout them earlier, see what we did wrong during the first meeting, and get a handle of what we can do better going into this next game with them. So, I feel like looking into the future, that's a good way to adapt and get a hold of it.
Your flexibility and adaptability is key within the team. That is your key role. Moving forward, yes, you can wait for the team to do these meetings and to scout other teams. What you can also do is ask the coach for those films and scout for yourself as well. You can take that and also share it with your teammates ahead of time. How can too much work impact the workplace? How can too much work impact the workplace? And can you think of an example of when you've been in this situation?
I definitely think too much work affects the workplace. There should always be a balance. I've been in this situation already this week. Work has been already tiresome with the Black Friday sales coming up, delivering furniture and appliances back to back, 18-hour days. It's been very, very tiresome. It leads to loss of focus. You're not able to interact with your consumers as you should. As such, I feel like working a lot in the workplace definitely has an adverse effect.
How could you have read and adapt to it better? And can you anticipate being in this situation in the future?
Black Friday sales are something that's part of the job. Those are hectic weeks. So definitely I could have got a lot more rest, faced it much better, communicating with my coworkers, making sure we're all on the same page, moving faster through the day. So we had shorter days, and that way we have longer turnarounds as well.
Too much work in the workplace definitely causes stress not only for yourself, but your teammates around you. I love that you said you were going to get more sleep before big holidays like Black Friday. Black Friday does cause for a lot of bell to bell hours. I love that you're going to use your communication skills with your teammates. That ensures that you are going to be a leader and that you're going to step up, but also with your work ethic, you're going to show your other teammates that they also too can step up. Those are very good soft skills to have and to implement within the workforce. I like that you're stepping up as a leader, and one way for your own boss to step up as a leader is to put himself also in the trenches with you. I would never ask somebody else to do something I wasn't willing to do myself. That also allows camaraderie around the team and allows them to work a little bit harder for you as well. How can other people not doing their part impact the workplace? How can other people not doing their part impact the workplace? And can you think of an example of when this has been the situation?
Other people not pulling their weight in the workplace definitely reduces productivity. More recently, a coworker of mine actually decided to leave work early. We weren't able to cater to the customers' needs. Um, Therefore, it definitely lowers productivity and the work doesn't get done. As such, we don't cater to the customers' needs.
Can you anticipate being in this situation again in the future? What options will you have and will you adapt?
I don't anticipate being in the same situation in the future because we're able to talk to this particular worker, make sure he was on the same wavelength as the rest. And even if it does arise in the future, I feel like my best option would be to talk to him and make it clear to him what the goal of the company is and what we strive to do for the customers.
Being able to adapt is key. If you can adapt to any situation or scenario that you're put into, it puts you ahead of the game. Those are all soft skills that you definitely need to either have or practice on. Being able to work with and communicate with your teammates or your coworkers is important so that the message about the value, the comrade, about the company itself is important. It has to be the same drive, the same image, and the same goal across the board. So I'm glad that you did that. How can conflict between and among employees impact the workplace? How can conflict between and among employees impact the workplace? Can you give me an example of when you've been in this situation?
Conflict between employees is not what you want, especially as a business owner. It definitely leads to animosity. There's a decrease in productivity. People don't work as they should. Recently, two coworkers got into it, led to one of them getting fired. The other one didn't have any helper, so he wasn't able to go on his routes. His routes had to be dropped. That meant loss of money for the company and the individual himself. So I believe animosity definitely plays a adverse effect in the workplace.
Did you read and adapt to the situation well? And how could you have read and adapt to it better?
We didn't particularly do well with this situation. We let it linger. Personally, I could have done better by getting both workers together, explaining what it was, what the company needed from both of them, and settled whatever they had going on. And we wouldn't have lost business that day. The worker wouldn't have got fired, and I feel like that would have been the way.
Can you anticipate being in this situation again in the future?
Most likely, we're working with human beings here who work on emotions. As such, definitely in the future, it might happen again. Obviously, with the experience I have now, definitely get them in the same room if it should happen again, even if it's me, and sort it out. Make sure we on the same page, and yeah.
Although it may not be in your job title to be a role leader or in the position to make those decisions on putting employees together in the same room and figuring things out, you definitely took the leadership skills it takes and soft skills it takes to try sort out that situation. Your boss will definitely notice this, and your coworkers will appreciate it and notice it, and also maybe hopefully incorporate that as well into the working environment. Believe it or not, problem solving skills is not always a common thing. So the fact that you took that scenario, that situation between the two employees, problem solved for it and got them together shows that you have a strong work ethic as well.